Hello and welcome to the Main Cave. Now in today's video I've got the, well now, do you call it Jsaux or Jsaux? Well, I'm going with the latter, but please do correct me if you know for sure. But I've got the Jsaux FlipGo Monitor. Specifically, this is the cheapest one. This is the Lite, and I'm going to run through this video what I love, what to expect, how much more you need to spend once you have the monitor, and of course some things I'd like to change. So if you're new here, we make regular videos on gaming and technology for your smart home, so please do consider subscribing, as I may make a video to make your life easier. I don't want you to miss out, so do hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. So let's start off with what you get in the box then. So in the box of the Lite, you get the monitor itself in its protective flap, a brief manual, a short USB-C cable and a short HDMI to mini HDMI cable. I say short at 1 meter each, as I had to go out and buy myself some longer ones so it would fit to measure to my PC. Also in the box I've got a 65 watt charger, a 90-degree USB and a separate magnetic stand, which I'll talk about in a bit. Right, what is it? So this is a dual screen monitor that folds up and which makes it extremely portable. You essentially have two 1920 by 1080 monitors stacked on top of each other. This one here is the Lite, so there are others which have bigger, better specs, but for this, the cheap one, you're looking at 2 times 15.6 inch screens, both 1920 by 1080, 60 Hz refresh rate, 16:9 ratio with 2 view modes, across both or on each one, but with a caveat I'll talk about later on. So on the monitor itself then, on one side then at the top is the mode swap button, but more of that in a bit. We have USB-C power, which delivers 65 watt pass-through, display link port and mini HDMI. On the other side is the power button, which also acts as a mode switch button, the menu rocker, USB-C and 2 USB-A peripheral ports. So one of the best things about this, and at the very top of your list, should be the price. Now I'm not sure there is another monitor like this in this kind of flip design that comes in at this cheap. It's currently sat at $299, but do keep an eye out as they have discounts and codes all the time. You can spend more, which will get you a better spec, but for what I use it for, and when I explain why this model is probably right for most people, then the price tag is a good one. Another massive plus for this is the build quality. It feels great. The folding mechanism instills confidence that it won't just slam shut at any given opportunity. It weighs in at just over 1.5 kilograms and comes with a protective flap, which is nice, but I'd like to have been able to choose my colour choice. The bezels are thin-ish, and we'll talk about that later, and there's no getting around the bezel that runs right between the two. This is okay for business, but for gaming, yeah, I'll go on to that in a bit. The hinge in the middle feels excellent. It's stiff enough to hold the monitor at your preferred angle, but not too stiff for it to become hard to open and close. It's a good design. Another huge benefit for you on this monitor is the single cable use. If you have a laptop or a portable device that connects via USB-C, then you can use this monitor with just one cable. Just plug it in and away it goes. Now, if you want to use HDMI, you will also need to plug in a charging cable to the monitor, as the HDMI doesn't carry power. Or if you want to charge your device at the same time, you will also need another cable into the monitor or into your device. But in a pinch, and for portability's sake, having this one with one cable is dead useful. Now, being a flip design, this makes it very portable. As I've shown, it folds down to the size of a laptop and can be easily transported in your bag. It comes with a cover too for a bit of protection, which is nice, but you may want to reconsider if you want to use this outdoors. The Lite specifically has a 250 nits peak brightness, and really, this just isn't enough for outdoor use. The best model though even goes up to only 500 nits, and that's on their Pro version, so I'm not even sure that will be suitable in sunshine either. Portability is saved for when you want to take this away with you and work in a hotel or a cafe rather than working out in bright sunshine. Now, so let's talk about back inside onto the desk, and let's talk about mounting. As I said in the unboxing, you get a small stand with it, which is okay, but I'd suggest getting a much more sturdy one to make sure it's stable. I got the snap stand and feel this, or maybe the other ones they sell, is a wise move. The snap stand uses magnets to hold the monitor in place with landscape or portrait, and it holds it very well. It does have an adjustable tilt. The only thing is, it does wobble a bit, which won't be great if you have the touchscreen version of this monitor. You'll be stabbing it, and as you can see, there's plenty of movement. If you take this monitor out with you, the stand doesn't fold flat, so keep hold of that one that comes in the box, as you can use that in a pinch when out and about, which is good enough, it's just not perfect. So the USP of this monitor is that it can be used in two ways, either as one large monitor or two separate monitors. There's a button on the side, which when pressed flicks between what they call Duo View and Ultra View. Duo View showing the two monitors separate, and Ultra View displaying it across as if you have one big screen. But as I mentioned, there is a caveat. If you want to have two separate desktop spaces, you need to connect this via USB-C. If you use HDMI, as I do here, the screens just get mirrored, and so don't really see the point of this. What I have it is set up as one big large monitor in Ultra View, and I just drag and resize the windows to fit top and bottom. It's simple enough and it does the job. You can have this landscape or portrait with the resolution for the Lite in landscape of two monitors, both displaying 1920 by 1080. Then how you want to show these and at what resolution is up to you. My main monitor here is 1440 and the one above is 4K in a 16:10 ratio, which means if you want to span your desktop image across all three like I have here, then you need to spend far too long in image editors to get one image that fits. It's a small annoyance, but one it's well worth it. So what about gaming then? Well, in 3 words, yes and no. So let me explain. You can game on this if you need to, but on a single display, which will be 1080 at 60 frames per second. Fine. The higher end models will give you a better resolution, but they are still all at 60 Hz. And the screen size for this one is only 15.6, and when hooking up to a console, the ratio is all wrong. And on a PC, I'm not sure the screen real estate of one screen is any better than just playing on a regular monitor or a handheld. Where it does shine is using the two monitors when gaming as separate screens to the main monitor. I could be gaming on my main one and have the two separate screens next to me with anything like the game map, maybe YouTube, news, anything else separate. Similarly, if you stream, you could have OBS on one, what your viewers see on another, and the game you're playing on the main. But remember to look up the specs for the limitations and how much you would want to display or see. So the screen then, it's nice and sharp and it feels comfortable to use for extended periods. And as I said, I don't use this as my main monitor when at home, but when out and about I use it with my ROG Ally and it performed flawlessly, and I'd happily have this as main 1 and 2 when in like a hotel or a cafe. Out of the box then, the screen's okay, but if you want to, there is the option to change the settings in the usual menu system. Brightness, sharpness, hue, RGB, etc. All can be changed using the rocker on the side that we saw earlier. I did, however, take time out of my day just to tweak this for how I wanted it, using the settings on the monitor and in my PC settings. I think you'll get to how you like it pretty easily. There were no drivers needed, simply plug in and play, and I was up and running in Windows 10 and 11 straight away. The 1920 by 1080 resolution is enough on a screen this size, but do remember when in Ultra View, this is in fact 1920 by 2160, albeit with that gap in the middle. Now, if you want to connect this to a Mac, you can, but you do lose the ability of Duo Views and Display Link support. This is Lite specific though. But if you look on the website, it shows what screen is compatible with what. Needless to say, the more the compatibility, the more you need to spend. So what about some negatives then? I have touched on some already, such as the need for a better stand and outdoor performance not being great, but is there anything else? Well, as I said, the bezels here, but they are quite large, nearly 15mm top and bottom, 6mm to the side, and the middle one, which you can't hold it against it really, and that's the hinge at 12mm. Now here is one other thing, it doesn't have speakers, but is that a negative for me? I'm not so sure. I have 2 other portable monitors and the speakers are so bad on them, I never use them. So not having them could just be seen as a smart move by Jsaux. Also, if you do want or need a touchscreen, this is reserved for the higher end models of a minimum of around $150 on top of the price of the Lite. Other than that, this is a great way to add more screen estate at the cost of not much. If you want a dual screen that is portable, a price that gives you plenty of value when you can't really go wrong with this. For me, it comes into its element when being productive using the 2 screens to add screens I already have. If you want to take a look at the latest prices, I'll leave links down below on the Jsaux website in the description so you can take a look for yourself. Please do let me know if you have any questions. Till the next video. Bye bye.